Here I've copied some code from the Friday lecture, and what this code is doing is it's making a chart in Altair based off of a k-nearest neighbors classifier using one neighbor. So this is like the most flexible, or the version with the most variance of k-nearest neighbors, and it was basing its predictions off of 80% of the original data. So what I want to show you is how we can customize this visualization a little bit. And the reason that is relevant for you now is because in your course project, you're going to be making Altair charts. And I think it's likely you'll want to change the appearance of some of those in the project. So I want to show just a couple options for how to do that. So first one I want to show is how to add a title. And so I can put dot properties right after the chart. And then here is a title. So now that shows up at the top. Something else I can do inside of this properties method is I can specify the width and the height. For example, let's say width equals 750. And now you're going to see it stretched out in this horizontal direction. And let's see, let me make it a little shorter so we can still see the legend. So there's width, and similarly I can change the height. So like, let's go in the opposite direction. Let's compress it so that it's shorter. And then there's a new version of this chart. And I found all of those configurations by following this customizing visualizations link. One other link I want to point out, just to show an example of some fancy things we can do, is let's go to this legend configuration. But I think all of these have interesting properties. And so here it is saying chart equals alt.chart. So it's saving this, it's assigning an Altair chart to this variable name. So let's do the same thing here. So let's say instead of just evaluating alt.chart so it gets displayed, let's save it with the variable name C. Okay, so now it doesn't get displayed anymore because I've saved it in this variable name. If I wanted it to still get displayed, what I could do is just type C by itself. Okay, now it gets displayed. And so now let's copy what they did in the documentation. And since I used C instead of chart, this chart is going to get replaced by C. And so now you can see this sort of fancy legend that shows up over here. And now you can go crazy with all sorts of different options. Like these are all different keyword arguments that can go inside of this configure legend portion. So maybe one other thing I'd like to talk about is this pred here. So the reason that is showing up is because that's the name of the column in the pandas data frame. The name of the column that is specifying the color. And I mean, what I thought was that you probably could just do something like title equals legend title. Okay, but that doesn't work. I don't know exactly why, but let me show you an alternative to that. I can do alt.color here, and this won't change anything so far. So it looks exactly the same. This should remind you of when we wanted to specify something like 0 equals false for the x-axis scale. And then we replace this x equals tempo with x equals alt.x tempo. Here we replaced color equals pred with color equals alt.color pred. And then in here, I can put some options. So like, for example, let's put this title in. And now you can see that pred from before, that has gotten replaced by legend title.